Is bird a harmless term of endearment, or is it time that we cancel it? Showbiz journalist Ellie Phillips says it's disrespectful to call women birds, while comedian and author Sadia Azmat doesn't have a problem with the term. They both join us now. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Lots of examples there in Sadia, in popular culture. We've had men behaving badly, Geordie Shore, men using the term bird as a way of describing women in their lives. Most of those for comedic effect, has to be said. You're a comedian. Do you have an issue with it?
Not at all. It's a bit plebby, but it's meant to be fun. None of the examples we've seen have used it in a mean or derogatory term or way. It's just like talking about us. I think trying to get their bird, it's fine.
OK. I think just because it's not meant in a derogatory way or said in that way doesn't mean that women can't take offence to it. I think it's interesting because I actually studied linguistics as part of my undergraduate degree, and I think we don't realise how powerful language can actually be. And if you think about it, if you belittle women by calling them a bird, that actually subconsciously kind of perpetuates misogynistic views and helps to reinforce patriarchal structures in society, because you're reducing women to being these small, defenceless creatures, which, when they're kept in a setting of a pet, they are in cages, they're reliant on someone to feed them, and they are therefore reliant on and dependent on. And unfortunately, as a society, we still somehow see women as being reliant on, dependent on men. So just because it's not overtly offensive doesn't mean that women can't be offended by it.
But then
I've been called a lot worse.
Sorry,
yeah, but then that's not really an argument, though, is
well,
it?
it is, no,
Well, we're lucky that you're not being called, a female dog, so take that instead.
I mean, yeah, well, I don't mind that, actually. But no, I think it's really like...
Is birds offensive to you? Do you think it relates to being a pet? You could see a bird, some might say, as soaring like an eagle, or... I think it depends on the process, doesn't it, that goes through in the mind of the person receiving it.
Especially in a programme like Love Island, where they're actually, the game is to try to win a partner. It's just, it's so inoffensive.
Sharon's got in touch on Twitter and she says she's not offended. She says it's a Scouse thing. I'm looking at you, Ellie. It's a Scouse thing up here in the Northwest, saying, I'm out with my bird tonight. We love it.
Yeah, it is. It's used widely in Liverpool, and it's not meant to be offensive. There's no malice that comes with it, and I think that's the point, is that it's not a malicious term, but the underlying tones speak to other problems, and that's where the real issue is.
But that's no tone underlying it at all. The tone is affectionate.
Affectionate?
Yeah, there was none of those tones were, like, aggressive or mean or predatory.
But there are some words that that people use widely and argued they meant with affection that now we're very clear are connected to things that have underlying tones that we don't want.
I think...
maybe what your argument is that there is a process here, and the process is kind of education.
I think sometimes we just get, between the males and females, I think we make it complicated, and, every case is different, and what somebody might have been through and had a bad experience with the word bird or etc., we all can't carry it. Other people may really want to be called bird and really like it.
There was a poll back in 2016, so it was a good few years ago, and bird topped the list of pet names that women wanted to see banished from everyday use. So I was quite surprised when we're watching Love Island now in 2023 that the young lads are now using what I thought was quite an old-fashioned term to describe.
Yeah, I think terms ebb and flow and they come in and out of usage, and they think they're using them, and to be honest, it's a bit cringe to hear them do it. It's like, it's 2023. Call us women, call us ladies, you know what I mean? You don't
a lot of women wouldn't like being called women.
A lot of women don't like being called ladies.
Yeah,
either.
Exactly.
But we can't win.
Yeah. We're in a fraught area. We're in a fraught area.
But that's the whole thing, is we can't overanalyse everything. For what you just said about your linguistics degree is really exciting, but most of us haven't had that. So your in-depth knowledge is not something that we're kind of on board with, necessarily, and so no one's trying to cause the miss-offence that you've taken.
Yeah, I understand that. Like I said, I don't think anyone says it maliciously. It's used in Liverpool all the time, saying I'm going to my birds for tea, I'm out with the birds. But it's just understanding that there's actually more to it than just this simplistic term, and that many women are offended by it. Watching Love Island goes in tandem with the social commentary that happens online.
All the things of Love Island, the word bird is the least on the spectrum of problems with Love Island, like the word bird is like probably the least.
Do you have? So is there pet names that sometimes are used? Love, darling, sweetheart, things like that. That do offend you, that you don't like, that you might say to someone, please don't give me that. And you
if
don't.
he's
I'm not
hot
your love.
and we're going to have sex, Ben, I'm cool with it. Let's do it.
But what about somebody who is maybe sort of doing something for you, like the car mechanic is fitting your car, or someone you're in a shop, or someone that you aren't trying to flirt with or you aren't trying to sleep with?
If he's handsome, I'm cool with it. If he's handsome, I'm really, really cool with it.
So you really don't mind, as long as they're good looking?
Yes.
Oh, no, I find it really patronising. And, like, for example, not that he ever would, but if my husband ever called me his bird, I'd be like, whoa, 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 I'm your wife. Before that was your fiancée and then I was your girlfriend. I have never been,
we're getting
nor
stuck
will
in
be your bird.
semantics here, I think.
Well, look, we've been asking you at home on Twitter, should men stop calling women birds? It's pretty split, I've got to say. 51% said yes, they should stop, and 49% said no. I wonder, though, who's answering that? Is it men or women?
Yeah.
Is there a regional thing going on? Like, what about
Should we get our statistician to break down the data, Kate?
They'd love to spend all day doing that. They'd love to spend all day doing that.
Lots of you getting in touch. Winnie says, we're called birds because worms pick up worms. That's why they're called birds, apparently. Bird is a term...
You love that, don't you?
Well, this is what I said. Vox says bird is a term used back in the olden days. Black and white films in the 1960s. It's just old-fashioned. It's awful.
But then sometimes young people reclaim old words. It's like names, actual...
But it's like men aren't able to say anything.
Babies.
That's why they're going back to the old terms, because you think they're safe and they're not safe either.
Yeah,
so
and lots of women saying, I call all my friends birds. I'm a girl myself. I love being able to say, I'm out with the bird tonight. All right, bird, how you doing?
I think that's reclaiming it, though, isn't it? Like, you can reclaim
it's not
the
reclaiming
term.
it.
It is reclaiming it.
There's no friction
If I choose to call myself that, or my friends, and
we're
we're
not all
happy
angry
with it,
with
that's
men.
fine.
We're not all angry with men.
Angry with men.
You seem a bit upset. You seem a bit upset.
I just don't want to be called bird.
But just because you don't doesn't mean everybody else has to go by what you prefer.
No, but I do think that the majority of women would say that they...
Well,
but it's split.
I mean, our poll is the other way. Our poll is the other way around, Elliot. I mean, you're absolutely right. We don't know exactly the demographic, but it is. Is it 51, 49 still?
I just want a guy to call me. Please,
We've all been there.
I think we can sort that out for you, Sunny. Don't worry about that.
Thank you,
You've
Ben.
come to the right place.
Thank you.
Goodness me.